I'm Ambika Mod and I'm here with Harper's Bazaar UK to share some life lessons. My gosh, what have I learned about style over the years? I feel like a lot, but then also like nothing at all, because I feel like my style hasn't really massively changed since I was like 20. But in the last couple of years, especially since doing this job, like I have learned to have more fun with fashion and wear things and try things I wouldn't usually, like this sequined number. I don't know if I've actively been given this advice, but something I always follow is just less is more. I mean, that's like my mantra for most of life, but that thing of like taking off one thing before you leave the house, and also just like comfort always first for me. Again, I don't know if I've been actively told that, but that's just something I always follow. What we wear matters because I suppose it's the first thing that people notice about you. I mean, it's a manifestation or representation of how we feel about ourselves, how we want to reflect ourselves outwardly to other people. It matters, but it's not like the most important thing. I think as long as you're expressing yourself and you feel comfortable and confident in what you're wearing, like that again is truly the most important thing. I think a lot of people, you can gain a lot from a first impression by what someone's wearing. I would say, like, personally, my attitude towards style and fashion has changed a lot in the last few years, in the sense that I've become really conscious about what I'm wearing and what I'm buying. And last year I set myself the challenge of creating like a capsule wardrobe, and I like recycled a bunch of clothes, sold a bunch of clothes that I wasn't wearing regularly, and started investing in like really sustainable pieces that would last me a long time. I feel like as a result of that, I dress better, and also it just eliminates so much time in the morning, like deciding what to wear, because you've just got like a limited wardrobe and all of it goes together. I do think it's important to sort of be conscious of where your fashion comes from, and I've tried really actively to stop buying fast fashion. I mean, that's obviously a privilege also to be able to say that, but I think if that option is available to you, then yeah, you should try commit to that as much as possible. I am a skincare fiend. I really love skincare. There was like a moment in lockdown where I genuinely thought I would train to become an esthetician, but I had really bad acne as a teenager, and so over the years I've just tried everything and anything. I watch a lot of like dermatologists on YouTube. I learned how to basically, when I turn over like any product, I basically know what every ingredient does. Less so now, because I've become really comfortable in my routine and I use the same stuff again and again, but I thought it was really important for me to know exactly what's in my skincare and what's helping me and what's not. But I've learned a lot. I mean, like with style, I think less is more, and I think if you're trying to create a new skincare routine or a new beauty routine, like just go back to the basics, like cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, and then build in things from there slowly and see what your skin does and doesn't like. And then similarly with makeup, I'm not like, I don't really wear a lot of makeup, to be honest. Like maybe a bit of concealer, I do my brows, and then I'm out of the house. I've said this 100 times before, and I'll say it 100 times again to anyone who will listen. Wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. Even if it's like cold or rainy outside, yes, wear sunscreen. If you want the best goddamn skin of your life, slap on that SPF 50 every damn day. You will not regret it. I'm telling you, it changed my life. I got all my friends and my family to wear sunscreen. They all thank me. I wish someone had told me when I was 17 and my face was covered in acne that like sunscreen would help me. Please, if there's one thing you take from this video, sunscreen. I feel most beautiful when I'm with my boyfriend, or on the first day that I've washed my hair, because that is always the best hair that I ever have, is the day that I wash it, and then I sleep on it and it does its own thing. I think a good hair day can really change the game. It can really change how your whole day is going. I think when I was younger, self-care meant like treating myself and doing things that felt nice and felt good. I think as I've got older, I've realised that self-care means also doing the hard stuff and also doing the stuff that requires a lot of discipline. So like having a routine, making sure that I exercise and get moving, making sure that I eat well. So yeah, it's definitely changed for me throughout my 20s, and I try not to indulge myself as much as I used to. And the things that feel good aren't necessarily the things that are best for you and your body and your health. So yeah, I think it's going to be constantly evolving, but sometimes the best self-care isn't the stuff that feels amazing in the moment, but your body will thank you in the long term. The best piece of life advice I've received from another woman is not necessarily like advice, like I can't summarize it neatly into a succinct sentence, but my mother has always taught me about the importance of gut health. I think it's so important, and I know that recently it's become more mainstream health topic in sort of Western medicine, but I still feel like people don't know about it and don't know about their own gut, don't know about what their bodies are saying about their health and what they're eating and what their lifestyle is like. Take your prebiotics and your probiotics and eat your greens and eat less sugar and exercise, and it all comes from the gut. Listen to your body, guys. Learn about your body, and it'll thank you. I wanted to act when I was really little, but without any reason why. And then as I got older, so in my teens, I just kind of accepted that that was never going to be my path, and that was never going to really happen for me. And people who looked like me weren't really on TV, and I sort of like, it was all a bit of a pipe dream. And then I went to university and I started doing comedy and writing and performing on my own stuff. And then for several years, like, that is what I was pursuing, and I loved it so much. And like, I thought that was going to be my career and be my, I suppose, my creative life. When I got This Is Gonna Hurt, my life just sort of went, did this, and I guess I found acting again, but I wasn't really actively looking for it, and I guess maybe that was the way it was always meant to go. I think for me that was the best way that could have happened. I don't think going to drama school or anything would have been right for me. I think the thing that I've learned about the concept of success is that it's always changing. You can go after a goal and you can achieve that goal, and then you'll find that there's another thing, there's another, goal to reach. The grind can also almost feel like never ending, and it can feel like there's always one more thing to achieve or one more thing to get to. And especially in this industry where I know that I am very quick to compare myself to other people. So success is very subjective, but I'm trying to define success on my own terms, and just, I want to really enjoy my job and spend time with people I love and have a nice life. I think if I could look back on my deathbed and I have done all that, that would be successful to me. But also I do want to host SNL one day, so swings and roundabouts. I think the aspect of my career that I found the most rewarding has got to be the representation aspect of it. It's not something that I have, again, actively sought to achieve. It's not a goal I set out to achieve when I started doing this, but the response I get from women of color, especially young brown girls, is always really overwhelming to me. And especially hearing how much it means to them. It never gets old, really. It never gets old, and you sort of forget actually how rare it is for someone like me to be in a position like this. And I hope that even if the message of the piece isn't as obviously important, that someone has taken something from it in some way. I've especially learnt that in the last 6 months with One Day. I thought it was just like a silly will they won't they, just like a silly romance where we could all have a bit of fun. But what I didn't expect was the response from young brown women, how much it inspired and empowered them. And that was really special to learn, because again, it's not something that I actively set out to do. The one piece of advice I would give to someone starting out in this industry is don't hold on to it too tightly. Especially as an actor, you have so little control over so many aspects of your career. I think the moment that you start holding too tightly onto something, things will feel like they're just falling away from you. And that's something I learned, especially when I started auditioning, and I would overanalyze, and I would get really hyper focused on tiny details that were probably not relevant. And I think as I've done more and more, I've chilled out a lot, and it's just made me, I think, better at my job. It's made me better at auditioning. It's made me easier to work with. Just make sure that like there are other things in your life that bring you joy as much as this job, because this job can be really heartbreaking, and when it's hard, and it can be years of rejection before you get your first yes. So just make sure that it's not your everything. Try hard, but don't be a try hard. I wish I could have that on a t-shirt. I think the most important thing I've learned about love, a relationship in which there is true, deep love, whether that's romantic or platonic, like familial, it should make you feel safe. It should make you feel confident. It should make you feel calm. In my opinion, love is feeling like there is home in another person, so that no matter where you are, if you're with that person and there is mutual love, that there is a sense of like home and groundedness. I always find it so stressful when I'm asked to think about how other people describe me. Funny, I hope. Otherwise, that friendship would not be lasting very long. I hope genuine. I know that they could always come to me for honesty, praise and constructive criticism. I like to think emotionally intelligent, and also, I want to say reliable, but then one of my close friends did call me her flakiest friend the other day, so that's some self-work that needs to happen, because I can't be having that kind of rep. The best thing I've learned about confidence is that you can fake it. Fake it till you make it. That's something that I feel like I did for a really long time. But then true, deep, like real, authentic confidence comes from doing. It comes from experience. It comes from failing. Can't stress this enough. Like, I actively now look for opportunities where I can fail and be bad at things, because I think just doing things and having those new experiences, even if they don't go particularly well, like, they innately build a confidence that you might not even be aware of. So that's what I've learned. The more that you do, the more you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, that I think that just builds confidence slowly but surely, in a way that like you can't really fake that kind of stuff. Yeah, unfair criticism is a tricky one, because again, it's like, it's just inherently a part of this job that no one actively warns you about, but at the same time no one can prepare you for. I think the first horrible thing I read about myself on the internet was like a couple of years ago, and I'd been on Sunday brunch, and someone on Twitter, this was the worst thing I'd read about myself at this point, someone on Twitter wrote, "She seems nice, but she has no je ne sais quoi." And I was like, oh, like dagger to the heart, I will never recover from this. I have no je ne sais quoi. What will I do with myself? That took me like 2 days to get over that, and that was like really painful. And then I think over time you just learn to let those things have less of an impact. And I've like tried to apply a really similar rule that I used when I did comedy, which is when I was doing comedy, like so like stand-up or improv or sketch, if I ever did a bad gig, I would give myself that night be down about it. And as soon as I like woke up the next day, like I had to forget about it and move on and use it to be better. And I try and apply a similar rule now. If somehow I come across something that is unfair, of course it's going to affect me, but I just try to minimize the amount of time that I let it affect me. I also, like, to paraphrase Brene Brown, I don't value criticism from people who aren't in the arena, i.e. people who aren't putting themselves in vulnerable positions, as a lot of us in our industry do, who aren't like being brave and courageous and putting themselves out there. Like, I'm not interested in the opinions of like keyboard warriors at home who think I'm ugly or whatever. That is just not relevant to me in my life. It took a long time to really learn to like stand up for myself and advocate for my worth. And it's something that no one really ever teaches you, especially as a young woman. There are very few people who tell you to like be more assertive or be more confident, and this is the way to do it. Like, it very much is just a case of like trial and error. I think if you have the right people around you, that helps. But I think there's also like a lot of power in saying no. I've learned in the last few years that like what you say no to is just as important as what you say yes to. It's enough just to be like, thank you, but no. And you don't always have to explain yourself. And I think as women, that's something that we're taught implicitly to do all the time. I think, especially in this industry, like, you kind of have no choice but to learn how to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself, because very few other people will, and it's you and your career, it's your face on things, and at the end of the day, like, you've got to look out for you. I think that only comes with time and growth and experience. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. If you didn't learn anything from these life lessons, that's fair enough. But thank you for spending time with me and Harper's Bazaar UK, and have a nice